all Jamaicans possess the educational tools to participate in a world of industry, a planet of industry, that is becoming more knowledge-based every single day. Nowadays, when we think of truck drivers, in the old days we thought of a truck driver, and all he would need to do is load the truck, drive the truck, unload the truck. It's not that way anymore. He has to be able to operate a computer. He has to be able to read his manifest. He has to be, if he's working in somewhere like Europe or the United States, he has to have knowledge of the law across multiple states, multiple jurisdictions, countries, and even counties. So it is not just simply loading, drive, unload. It now requires a good deal of education to be able to operate a truck. All right? Now, when we think of the opportunities that are on the horizon here in Jamaica, we hear them on the news. We realize that there's a growing opportunity, a rapidly growing opportunity for Jamaicans who are equipped with with a sound education to be able to do great things here at home. We've already proven our greatness the world over, and we now have the opportunity to build a better nation, to build better lives for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, for each and every one of us here today, and our 2.7 million wonderful neighbors. That opportunity in education is what brings us here this morning. And I think that you're going to learn a lot this morning that is going to be of particular interest to you. As you know, our business is the business of adult education, and we have some very exciting things to tell you about. But I would not wish to, shall I say, take away from anyone else's presentation, so I will remain home and promise you that there's some interesting things to come. At this point, I would like to invite Mr. Denworth Finnekin, Senior Director of Workforce Development and Employment Division of the Heart Trust NTA, to come forward and to make a few remarks about this morning's and other activities.
Madam Chair, Mrs. Audrey Inchcliffe, Grace McLean, Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Senior Advisor to the Honorable Minister, Ms. Verica Bennett, other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning. Good morning. I stand here on behalf of Heart Trust, the board and management staff, to give full support to the relaunch of the JFLL and to endorse the high school diploma program. You know, JFLL and Heart Trust partnership goes a far way back. And I want to pledge Heart Trust's commitment to continue to partner with JFLL as we seek to impact the nation as it relates to lifelong learning. Workforce productivity is key to our survival. We can't continue to lag behind some of our Caribbean neighbors as it relates to productivity. And so this morning, it's the most momentous occasion as we seek to strengthen this partnership to ensure that every Jamaican is able to operate at a level that will guarantee minimum productivity. And we have found a worthy partner in JFLL to take those applicants up to the grade 9 level, and many of them have moved on to attain their diplomas. And so we want to strengthen that. Another area in which we seek to continue our partnership is with sharing of space. Just, Madam Chair, I was in Brownstown on Monday, and Senior Advisor, you might be pleased to know, I was very delighted to see at Addison Park some facility there where we are seeking to put in a community-based training intervention. Because one of the things Heart Trust is intensifying is taking the training to the community to ensure we have access and reach as we seek to increase the number of Jamaicans who are certified for the jobs they are doing. And that's a way to guarantee improved productivity. Also, we eagerly anticipate discussion to see how Harchus will deliver the practical component of the high school diploma program. And this is an area where we believe that will be of great impact, because 80% of the jobs that are available globally are in the technical and vocational area. And so I'm very happy to see that the practical area is also included in the diploma program. Again, I just want to pledge our full support from Harchus, the National Training Agency, as we seek to build a better Jamaica. Thank you.
Just a brief response to what Mr. Finnegan has said, and he touched on something that is very important to the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning. That is partnerships. As an agency, we operate 30 adult education centers across the country. There's at least one in every single parish, so we pretty much have the country covered. But what is more interesting to note is that we have over 100 volunteer educational centers, some of which have been volunteering with us for decades. And we consider these to be very critical partners in delivering adult education. And we maintain those partnerships. And through those partnerships, we've educated thousands of Jamaicans over the years. Now, in addition to these partnerships, which you may know of, for example, if I may just name one, Bethel Baptist Church is one of those that we are in partnership with. But to show you another aspect of our partnership is that we also partner with workplaces. We partner with community organizations to put programs into the communities, into the workplaces, to be able to deliver or to assist in the delivery of increased productivity and improved community relations. All right? So partnership is a very important aspect of what we do. And if you look at the back, those of you who have these kits, if you look at the back of them, you will see in the first line of our mission, to provide in partnership. Now, that we understand, that we know the meaning of our partnerships, we also have partnerships within our own ministry and many other places. And at this point, it's not on your program, but I'd like to invite Chief Education Officer, Mrs. Grace McLean of the Ministry of Education, to come forward and share some of her thoughts.
Mrs. Audrey Hinchcliffe, Chairman of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, other board members of the JFLL, Mr. Denworth Finnegan, Senior Director, Workforce Development and Employment Division, Ms. Verika Bennett, Senior Advisor to our Minister of Education, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You would have been told that our Minister is the keynote speaker for today. And so my task this morning is just to share with you some of the specifics as it relates to a very important partnership as we ensure that education is not only being provided for those of our students who are between 3 and 18 years old, but also that we are providing support for the out-of-school population. And this interesting area, which will form a significant component of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning program, is called the High School Diploma Equivalency Program. This program, we are very pleased that the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning has taken on this as one of its core areas, which will pretty much seek to ensure that we are providing an interactive, open exit, open entry program where all Jamaicans who are not able to read or to write or to compute or to do anything that would classify them as having a high school diploma will be able to access this program. This program will be a combination of different areas. It will comprise English language, of course, mathematics, science and technology, health and family life education, and it will also include a major component, which is a skill program that Mr. Finnegan spoke about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the intention here is to ensure that our people are able to access any form of education depending on where they are as it relates to their ability to operate as what I would call a functional Jamaican. So it doesn't matter whether this person has just exited the secondary school system or this person has exited 40 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever it is, this program will cater to the needs of our Jamaicans. What is also interesting about this program is that it will make available to our educators right across the island who would want to seek the opportunity to offer this program to those within their communities who they would want to train and prepare for them to be able to access this high school diploma. And so this program will be interactive. It will be fully online. Of course, there will be guided support that will be required, but those of us who are able to go through by doing just the online program will be able to do so. And at the appropriate time, these persons can go through the Hard Trust NTA to do the skills-based component. And so not only will they now have a high school diploma, but also would have developed some kind of technical competencies to provide support for the job market as it relates to technical vocational education and training. Also to say, the Caribbean Examination Council is a major partner in this regard. They will be providing the certification, and so once our people have gone through the various stages and are ready to be certified, then the registration is done through CXC and persons will be certified accordingly. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are saying here is that an educated society is a civilized society and a productive society, one that will take us closer to achieving our 2030 vision, which is Jamaica a place of choice to live, to work, to do business, and to raise families. And so as we try to fix what we are doing within the school system to ensure that we are preparing fully rounded Jamaicans, we are also trying to ensure that we provide the opportunities that are required for all other Jamaicans. So together we can have not only our young people being educated, but also our older people being educated as well. What is also interesting about this program is that it will assist our parents in getting those competencies and skills that they require so that they can assist their children with their homework, with other school-related activities, so that our teachers can at least be able to advance the curriculum within the school system. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is a win-win situation for all. It's a win-win situation for the Ministry of Education, and it is also a perfect way of rebranding this noble organization that has served Jamaica over many, many years and would want to expand its reach as we seek to ensure that we prepare an educated society. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much.
Now, it's my pleasure this morning to introduce to you the chairman of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning. She's, of course, none other than Mrs. M. Audrey Hinchcliffe. And while she has an outstanding resume, which is a presentation in itself, I would just like to draw to your attention one thing I found out in the research of her. And many of you know this, but I want to draw it to your attention nonetheless. That among her many passions and accomplishments, she also has a passion and several accomplishments in the area of training and human development, which is one of the things that I think has brought her here to the JFLL, and we have certainly, any of the staff will attest, that she has brought that passion and energy here. So I'd like for you to please welcome Mrs. M. Audrey Hinchcliffe, Chairman, Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning.
Master of Ceremonies, Minister of Education, Honorable Ronald Thwaites, officers of the Ministry of Education, members of the board of Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning, our partners and colleagues in adult education, members of the media, members of staff, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. Thank you all for supporting this event. I'm going to take this opportunity to introduce who I call my fantastic board. Board members, could you please stand? Minister, we can lend you this board for all your other agencies. Thank you very much. You may be seated. This morning's press conference signals a significant turning point in the life of the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning. It marks the start of what our Minister of Education has aptly christened a Renaissance initiative intended to rebrand and reposition the JFLL as a viable option, especially for those wishing to further their education to the secondary level. This initiative will be formally introduced to the Jamaican public on Wednesday, July 23rd, in the form of an opportunities fair that will be held at Emancipation Park in Kingston. Minister Thwaites will launch and provide further information on the fair, but for now, let me just say that it is intended to showcase the services offered by the JFLL in collaboration with its stakeholders and partners, and provide information concerning our flagship programs, which will now be focused on the high school equivalency certification. Now just about 7 years old, this organization was founded as an agency of the Ministry of Education after the closure of Jamal. As you may recall, Jamal did an excellent job in sensitizing Jamaicans to the importance of literacy and mobilizing many to improve their status in this regard. And today, we applaud and pay tribute to the commitment of the pioneers whose hard work, vision, and creativity enabled many Jamaicans to ultimately improve their lives by acquiring the necessary skills of reading and writing. But it is to take adult education beyond literacy that the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning was founded in 2006. And our mission is to provide, in partnership with other key organizations, adult education programs which will establish a culture of lifelong learning and will empower individuals and contribute to national development. I pause here to specifically recognize the representative of our partner agencies who are here this morning. You have already heard from HEART NTA. I don't know if any of our other colleagues are here. Is anyone from the library service here? Well, you know this is a busy day, so perhaps they couldn't make it. But one of our other main partners is CXC. Is there someone from CXC here? We were told they would have been coming, so. But HEART is ever present with us. And we also acknowledge our members of staff who continue to lead the charge, both here at headquarters and in the field, as we strive to fulfill our mandate. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the emphasis on lifelong learning is intended to banish the out-of-school mentality that has been part of our national psyche for decades. Through the programs offered by the JFLL, we want instead for our people to embrace the notion that if we are to keep pace with rapidly changing world, learning must be continuous. And no one has to be left behind because they lack the fundamentals on which to build a career or improve their prospects for a better life. As our slogan states, the JFLL offers lifelong learning for lifelong opportunities. In embracing this concept, the payoff for Jamaica is a more educated, knowledge-based adult population empowered through lifelong opportunities to take responsibility for their own lives and contribute positively to the social, moral, and economic development of the country. A more educated population presents greater prospects for a stronger economy and contributes what one of our late national heroes, the Right Honorable Norman Manley, referred to in a January 1939 address to teachers: a new spirit which can be made a most terrific and potent engine for change and development for everything that exists. In this regard, the JFLL has therefore shifted its focus and is now turning the spotlight on assisting those who did not complete high school, whether they had the opportunity to attend or not, whether they are now employed or unemployed, to become certified. Our programs are conceptualized and structured on the premise that if Jamaica is to become a developed nation and to fulfill its potential to achieve greatness, those of our people who, for whatever reason, had to discontinue their education during the crucial high school years must be given a second chance for self-actualization. Education, as you know, is one of the surest routes to get them there. Our mandate reflects cognizance of a changing global and local environment which no longer permits us just to muddle through on the basics. Jamaica needs every talent, every skill, and the engagement of each citizen functioning at optimum to achieve both our short and long-term goals. The Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning is therefore pleased to offer an opportunity for continuing education for those who haven't given up on themselves or on learning. As of this year, we will be introducing the High School Diploma Equivalency Program, which will now become our flagship program. It is geared to provide learners with an internationally recognized secondary certificate at the CXC, CVQ, and NVQ levels, and this is in keeping with the government's thrust to improve the human capital of Jamaica in line with our 2030 vision. This program, which is to be the centerpiece of a newly repositioned JFLL, is in the final stages of development. Our key partners are the Ministry of Education, which you have heard from, the Caribbean Examination Council, E-Learning Jamaica, the Jamaica Library Service, and Heart Trust NTA. The Ministry of Education is responsible for curricular and program development expertise and the necessary policy and guidance for the program, while support will also be provided for the development of resources for teachers, teaching and learning materials suited for the learners. The CXC is responsible for end-of-program testing in keeping with its international certification standard, and the Jamaica Library Service will be a primary delivery partner through its network of computer labs. While a multifaceted approach will be taken to course delivery under the High School Diploma Equivalency Program, it is important to note that courses will also be delivered via computer-based online techniques, as we believe that it is vital to integrate computer technology in our teaching methods. This, we are confident, will help learners to become more integrally engaged in the learning process wherever they are, even as they improve their own computer skills. Learners across the island will be able to access the High School Diploma Equivalency Program through our adult education centers, of which there are 29 of them, and as mentioned before, our volunteer partners to support this initiative. Other persons and organizations that meet the relevant criteria will also be able to offer the high school diploma. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at a system or a process of even outsourcing the program or some other means so that it can really be spread across Jamaica. Courses will cover the critical areas of English language, mathematics, science and technology, health and family life, and a skill area, among others. The subject mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, were not chosen at random. We live and operate in a highly high-tech global economy, and as such, it is imperative that we make every effort to ensure that our people are not left behind. Our adult secondary learners must also be equipped with the social skills to function and contribute positively, both at the community and national levels, as well as with other skills that will enable them to practically apply what they have learned and to multitask. At the same time, the JFLL has not abandoned its other programs from which hundreds of Jamaicans continue to benefit. Potential learners who are not yet at the high school level are welcome to call, visit our website or any branch of JFLL across the island to inquire about our suite of programs and to choose the one that best fits their learning needs. Learners are not yet at the secondary level, who are not yet at the secondary level, may also use the existing courses as stepping stones to access the high school diploma equivalency program, even as those who will receive high school certification may use it to transition to other areas of higher education. Through this initiative, ladies and gentlemen, we are providing an opportunity for all Jamaicans who crave empowerment through education, who want to chart a course to better jobs and prospects, and who wish to avail themselves of the keys to a brighter economic future. As the Center for Adult Education in Jamaica, the Foundation for Lifelong Learning wants to spread the words far and wide that we are open for business, and that business is to provide lifelong learning for lifelong opportunities. Thank you.
I had quite a challenge earlier trying to introduce our chairman, Mrs. Audrey Hinchcliffe. I now face a greater challenge in trying to introduce our Honorable Minister of Education, because he's even better known to all of us and thus does not really need much introduction. But may I make the observation that he is a very energetic Minister of Education who has the education of all Jamaicans very much close to his heart. And with that, I would like to introduce Reverend the Honorable Ronald Thwaites.
The tune set off. Chairman, Mrs. Hinchcliffe, Mrs. McLean, Mr. Finnegan, members of the JFFL board, and staff members, members of the media. This morning I invoke the lively and present spirits of the late Dr. Joyce Robinson, Mrs. Marjorie Curlew, Mr. Dr. D.R.B. Grant, Mr. Lascelles Beckford. I lift up the personalities yet amongst us of the Honorable R. Danny Williams, Dr. Franklin Johnston, and so many others who, along with me, were named by the late, great Michael Norman Manley in 1974 to the board of the National Literacy Program, as it was then. You have no idea the welling up of emotion that comes when I think of I said Renaissance, some would say resurrection, and certainly the new life of the literacy movement in Jamaica that we are witnessing today. In another life, I have been the one who have pointed to the systemic transfer of wealth and opportunity from the poor to the rich in this country. And I remain convinced of that trend, which spans our recent history and more so our colonial experience and during the horrible dark night of slavery and exploitation. But this new effort, and indeed the whole enterprise of education, is an extraordinary surge in the reverse direction. What we're doing here, understand its epic character. We are offering to those who have been, for whatever reason, consistently on the margins or outside of the pale of opportunity in Jamaica, the chance to recover, to strive, to achieve, and to surge. That is what we are doing here. That is what all education does, if properly understood. But when we apply ourselves to those who, for whatever reason, have missed the opportunity, have squandered the opportunity, for that is the truth of many, to pick up themselves and to achieve, to be a late bloomer, as the song says, and to recover lost ground, then this is the point of intersection for them of progress and a reasonable future. What we're doing here is of, in my view, transcendental importance. None of us have the hope of survival in this world if we do not have the opportunity to catch up and recover from our mistakes and from our deficiencies. Those of us who hang on to the hem of the master's garment in whatever form and in whatever denomination or language, understand that God is no God if he is not a God of second chances and third chances and multiple chances. And it is we who are his hands and feet in this world and who are offering to those hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans who need a second chance to certify themselves so that they may work, so that they may achieve their God-given potential, so that they may live in his image and likeness. The dream of Michael Manley is entering a new chapter of fruition. It is a dream that has been achieved in many other countries and has been seen as a fundamental prerequisite for very utilitarian things like development, to seed investment, and to encourage prosperity. Allow me to be brash that were this surge, this new effort not to succeed, the vision of 2030 would be illusory. Our corner is dark if we are not able to present ourselves not in form, not in dressed up masquerade at some graduation where we wear cap and gown but have nothing else to show. If we are not able to present ourselves as an educated people, a socially adjusted people, and a spiritually conscious people. Yes? And so in this blessed year of asperity and of hope, it's time for us to call it for what it is and to set about the business of changing that which lies in our resources, within our spirit, and within our talent to change. And that is the situation of educational underachievement in this country. There's a new definition of literacy is there not? In the 1970s, we thought that if we could teach the persons who needed to learn to read the 23rd Psalm and to count the change at the then Chinese shop, that that would have been enough. We now know that that is not sufficient. And therefore, the chairman's description of the new curriculum for high school equivalency is an apt one. It must involve information technology. It must involve the rudiments of science, of civics, as well as a skill, a vocational competency. The new movement for literacy in Jamaica must acknowledge that the workforce of the 21st century requires competency in the basics of academic subjects, principally of literacy and numeracy, but also requires a skill which can be applied to employment, whether at the behest of someone else or self-generated employment. And that this is not some quirk of local circumstance, but rather is a worldwide trend which Jamaica is behind at the starting line and must catch up quickly. For this reason, it is appropriate that the launch of the new Foundation for Lifelong Learning program should involve joined up arrangements with other agencies, and particularly with the Heart Trust NTA, and with the Jamaica Library Service, and with the certifying bodies of the Caribbean Examination Council and others. Because there can be no disjuncture anymore between lifelong learning and skills achievement. The 75% of the applicants to Heart who are turned away in the past because they had not reached appropriate grade 9 levels must no longer be the case if we are going to move forward as a people. Yes? Wherever they go, whether it is to the JFFL Center, the library, or the Heart, whatever their deficiency is must be identified, and a remedy must be prescribed and availed at that time. And it is a dream of the Ministry of Education, and indeed the passion of the government of the day, amidst all of the financial and other difficulties that come next year and moving on continuously. Any person who wishes to avail themselves of lifelong learning must be able to find a place where, at their pace and at a reasonable exertion on their part, can be achieved over time. For those who are at a high level and wish to attain a skill, they will move perhaps with more alacrity. For those who reach first book, we will start them there. For those who reach sixth book, let's go from that point. But if we do not become a learning society, if we do not take advantage of the thrill and the utility and the sublime purpose of furthering our education, then we will remain in the slough of underdevelopment. It is from learning that we shall gain our bread as a people and as individuals. It is not through some books abroad or some continued unsustainable diet of borrowing somebody else's resources and not counting the cost or measuring the repayment. It is from our own resources. And our own resources are only exploitable if we recognize the treasure and the talent of the human spirit. God does not make any dummies. And secondly, our natural resources, which themselves will lie dormant or will be taken from us by others who have more savvy than we do because of our lack of attainment and achievement. Mr. Chairman, in the Roman Empire, the apogee of exploitation in classical history, the rulers gave the slaves bread and circus. Too often in Jamaica, we only give them circus. And so, I have gratitude to express this morning to the board members of JFFL, and to the supporters of the movement over the long period, sometimes in the desert and sometimes on the mountaintop, of those who have promoted the cause of literacy and lifelong learning. I pledge that insofar as we can divert already existing resources to the movement that has been announced today and which will be launched later on, that we will do so as a matter of urgent priority. I call upon the library service and the friends of the library, the heart centers, the churches of Jamaica. What could be more of a divine cause than to take the human mind and to advance the knowledge and understanding of dignity, of achievement, and of spiritual awareness? Every church ought to be combining or on their own developing a program whereby those who need this upgrading can in fact achieve it at that location. Our community centers, long dormant for most of the time, must become beehives of learning. Yes? And all of these must be equipped. Don't wait on replete facilities, but with what we have, try to make a difference in the life of those who are particularly in need. It is intended, as has been said, that at the end of the day, at whatever stage that comes, our people will be able to secure a high school diploma, which will be the equivalent of a matriculation to a tertiary institution or for entry into the job market. It is the responsibility of the nation through the Ministry of Education and through all the schools to ensure that at the same time as this is taking place, we are stopping the leakage of more and more students into the ranks of the illiterate and semi-literate, and then hoping that institutions like JFFL and HEART will pick them up. Our estimate is that over 22,000 of the school-leaving cohort this year have left without certification. We have to stop that and allow you to catch up with those who are already out without prejudice or indignity to anybody, you know. Spare me the minute, illustrious company, this morning to tell you that we are facing, our employers, our business persons, our investors are facing a situation of unfairness right now because they are paying the 3% hard contribution, they are paying the education tax, and yet when they come to employ many of the persons, yes, Mrs. Hinchcliffe, you may wish to plead your own cause in a minute, yes, they have to train those people over again. And we can swap political administrations, we can curse our stars and our leaders, but unless we are prepared to dramatically reduce within a very short period of time the level of uncertified workers in our population, then we are going to find ourselves in a de-escalating situation of economic depression and of social unrest. Do you understand then why I think this morning is an occasion of such epic proportion? I plead with all of us to commit ourselves to our own development and to our community's upliftment through the cause of the new literacy alternate high school diploma initiative, alongside all of the other JFFL programs. I believe that this is an important work politically, economically, individually, and spiritually. And I wish it well and commit the resources, the personnel, and the endeavor of the Ministry of Education towards its achievement. Thank you all.
Reverend the Honorable Ronald Thwaites, thank you very much for your presentation. I think that you have given us great encouragement this morning. That is to the staff of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, our chairman and our board, and certainly to all of Jamaica, that we can move forward with a new renaissance in adult education to better our nation, to better our lives, to better our family. At this point, I'd like to turn your attention to something a little closer in the future. In fact, just about a little over 2 weeks away. Chairman Hinchcliffe had announced earlier that on the 23rd of July, we will be hosting an Opportunities Fair. This Opportunities Fair is going to be taking place at the Emancipation Park in New Kingston. It's going to be all day on the 23rd from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it's going to feature an official repositioning of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, and there you will get the opportunity to hear more from Chairman Hinchcliffe and Minister Thwaites, along with other speakers. We're going to be having quite a few activities throughout the day. We're going to be having things like the awarding of some of our students who have participated in a poster competition and in an essay competition. And of course, there's going to be our wonderful jingle, which will be performed by none other than Lovindeer himself. During the course of the day, into the afternoon part, you can look forward to a series of opportunity seminars. And there we're going to take the opportunity to tell John Public and everyone else who chooses to come, we're going to tell them more about the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning. We're going to tell them more about the high school diploma program. We're going to tell them about how they can get in contact with us, where, how, when, who. We're also going to tell them about, we're going to have our partners there as well. The Heart Trust NTA is going to be making a presentation, and they're also going to have a booth there. So you'll be able to learn more about skills training opportunities and about their participation within this program with us. The CXC is going to be there. The Jamaica Employers Federation is going to be there. It's going to be a great day of good fun, and a lot of knowledge will be made available to all who come. And I ask you, the members of the press corps, to help us drum up some excitement and awareness for this. And of course, we extend to you a hearty invitation to come and cover the event. And if you want to stay and perhaps mingle with us afterwards, you're more than welcome to come. All right? So as I wind up now, just one last catchphrase for you. Lifelong learning for lifelong opportunities. Opportunities Fair, 23rd of July, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Emancipation Park, all day long as the weather will permit. And if it starts to rain, it'll be a hot summer day anyway, so we'll enjoy the rain, yes? Okay, and we're going to have all of our partners there. We're going to have lots of booths and stuff for you to participate and learn about. And with that said, thank you all. Please enjoy.